Hey guys, Grant Owens here on We Found You Music. We are at Dash Radio and we're joined by Chloé Caroline.
Hello, hello.
Welcome.
Thank you.
First time on the show.
Yes.
And so thrilled. We're also going to have you be performing in our concert series coming up January 17th. And then you have a single we're going to be talking about in just a moment called Twin Flames out January 20th. So Chloé, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
And of course you performed a couple songs for us. What did you play for us?
I played Gemini and Saving Space, which are two songs that are already out in the world, so people can find them, and they're on my new EP that's coming out.
New EP on the way. You heard it here first, folks.
You did. You really did.
Music. So thank you so much for stopping by.
Yeah, thank you.
Now, you're originally from California?
I am. Yep, born and raised beach child.
Beach child, same.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
See, this makes sense.
Laguna Beach here.
Okay, Manhattan Beach.
Manhattan Beach,
Yeah.
there you
The best beaches.
go. Yeah, we're beach kids. How has that affected your sound?
I think because I grew up in California, it's such like a melting
It's a
pot.
really interesting, I feel like, EP to listen to, or sorry, two EPs to listen to.
Yeah, your fans will love that, but you're finally letting out all these emotions into a body of work.
It's
But what's better than
crazy.
that as an artist to let your emotions out through your work?
It is. It's
pretty cool.
It is really cool. It's the best.
It's not bad, not bad. So even more fun, if you could tour with any artist, and would it be Stevie Nicks and why? I'm kidding.
Okay, yeah, obviously. Okay, I'll do like the past and the present, I guess. Like, well, somebody who's like from my childhood, obviously Stevie Nicks, yeah. Stevie, Queen, but I would say right now Harry Styles.
Nice.
Yeah.
I mean, he's definitely connecting on another level.
Like, how do you, and I just love what he does. I mean, he kind of crosses genres too and time periods.
Yeah.
It's sick.
No, that's a good answer.
Yeah.
I think he's intentionally, trying to channel all sorts of different styles
he
of
doesn't
music.
fit in a box, so.
That's a good. That's what we're about.
Yes, me too.
Is music that doesn't fit in the box. So
Hell yeah.
I'm glad you said that.
Yes. Oh, perfect.
So you fit just right on We Found You Music.
Thank you.
Chloé Caroline, thank you so much for stopping through.
Thank you for having me.
Again, we have you playing January 17th.
Yes.
I imagine there'll be more live shows this year as you're
100%.
releasing more music throughout the world. Hopefully we have you back even after this.
Yes,
Chloé,
for
thank you
sure.
so much for taking a little time to catch up with us.
Thank you.
And we'll catch up with you next time. So thank you guys.
Sounds good.
Chloé Caroline on We Found New Music.
Yes.
I grew up listening to a lot of different things.
Sure.
And I grew up in a house too where my dad played a lot of different types of music. He was in bands growing up, etc. And so I think my sound kind of has this sort of West Coast vibe to it, even in stuff that's like not necessarily like intentional. It just kind of like comes through my music. And I think it's kind of also like that combo of like real and synthetic and like pop, but also like the singer-songwriter part of me that's really ingrained.
Yeah. Well, who were some of your influences growing up and like current influences?
Yeah. I grew up listening to a lot of Stevie Nicks. She's like my hero. Hero, the queen, the hero of all heroes. But I mean, honestly, like everybody from Carole King to like Frank Sinatra. And then, when I was like 10 years old, I was obsessed with like Avril Lavigne. So like these really strong like female influences that I feel like also came from a melting pot of genres.
If Chloé Caroline was defined in the dictionary,
Yes.
what would it say?
I would say my friends describe me as kind of like the glue that like pulls people together.
Cool.
That's a compliment.
Yeah, it is a compliment. And so that bubbly, sunshiny.
So while we're on the topic of your music, what do you think sets it apart from other artists in pop today?
Ooh, I think there's a lot of people that are doing a lot of really dark music, which can be really cool and edgy, and I love it. But I do feel like there's like this feel good vibe that people need. Honestly, they need. And I think my music has kind of that like motivational through line and just like that feel good
Yeah,
vibe.
there's definitely a need for that.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Especially
And
right
you
now.
know, I write sad songs too. I mean, they're like my bread and butter, but I feel like there's still a way to be honest and write a sad song and still have it leave you with some hope. So
Speaking of, talk about your connection with the spiritual ethos. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah. There's kind of like this, like you just mentioned, like this spiritual ethos that's kind of like throughout all of my new music. I mean,
Really?
I have a song called Gemini, which is obviously like zodiac signs, and my song Saving Space, and you know, that's pretty much a song about surrendering to whatever you believe, universe, God, just literally letting go and making room for what is meant for you and kind of aligning with that, allowing that to happen. And in this case, it was romantic, but I think it, can be for a lot of different areas in your life. And for me, I kind of went through like a spiritual awakening, starting kind of like right before COVID, where I had like ended a relationship of like 5 years, and it was like the first time I was like by myself and like really, learned to be alone and really like figure out who I was, and you discover a lot through that. And that kind of influenced
you discovered
everything.
a lot about yourself, including you mentioned earlier that you want to use your creativity to your full potential as an artist.
I do.
Talk about that.
Yeah. So, I mean, I always say like, first and foremost, like I'm an artist. Like there's, my creativity is in everything I do. And as much as like, I love singing and I love songwriting, it's one of those things where it's like, if I don't use my creativity as well in other areas, then I'm not even like using my singing songwriting part of me to my full potential, because it all influences it. I'm a better songwriter when I'm using my creativity in other ways. And I really want to have a career that's, multifaceted. I also act. I have my own podcast. Okay. I'm a writer. I want to write my own films. There's so many things I want to do that I feel like there's just so many places to use your authenticity.
They end up influencing each
yeah,
other.
they do, exactly. And it's like,
yeah,
exactly. And I mean, I lived in Nashville for a long time, and I was writing every single day, 2 times a day sometimes, and I loved it, but I also burnt myself out because I wasn't using other parts of my creativity. And I realized that when I started doing that, I was like, oh my God, I'm a better writer now.
And you mentioned also that you feel like your listeners gain hope or motivation from your music, and I'm sure that's important. Kind of tell me why you think this is, and why you think it's relatable to them, and how it helps them and connects with them.
Yeah. Growing up, I got really, really sick as a kid, and I did. Yeah. And I kind of had to grow up, I feel like, faster than, it was like my last year of childhood. I was like 11 years old. And after that, I had to be a little like isolated for a little bit from people. I got pulled out of school as I was like healing and stuff like that. And for me, I learned what like the most important things were. And it was like getting outside and being in the sunshine, or like being with your friends. It wasn't like material things like that. And I learned how to like kind of like switch my perspective on what was important. And I had to do that. And I mean, I could have, I guess, gone a completely different direction, but it, I guess, helped me see things in even a more positive light, and be able to like find light when you're in such darkness sometimes. And people need that. And there's, you turn on the news and it's like a ton of reasons to be afraid, when there also are a ton of reasons to not be.
Absolutely. Well, you mentioned that you try to bring that positive light into your music, and I think that that's one way. And, you have a number of ways that you can motivate the listener into being their better self.
Yeah.
So the new single is Twin Flames, coming out January 20th. Tell me the story behind that single.
Yes. So, I mean, first of all, for anybody who doesn't know, like, a twin flame is technically, it's 2 people that share the same soul. That's really kind of where it stemmed from, is that idea. But for me, I had spent, quite a long time, like, just being alone, focusing on me, like, very intentionally. And then I kind of got to this place where I realized I could do that. It was great. And I was kind of like, I don't need somebody else, but if it happens, like, I'm going to be a lot more picky about who it is, because it better beat being alone, right? It better be this bonus. And so finally, I did meet that person, and it was life-changing, and I fell in love, and he's amazing. But I remember I was recording one day, and I really was just like missing him. I hadn't seen him. I was so busy, and I was sitting there thinking, like, man, back when I was alone, like, was it easier because I didn't have to like have the temptation of missing somebody, And then like literally like moments later, he sent me this like really just like encouraging, beautiful text message, and I was like, you know what? No, like, obviously this is what it's about. Like, this is the bonus. I get to come home to this, and like having that partner in life, and getting to this place where it's like, no, I don't necessarily like need you to survive, but like, I want you, like, and that's the chorus. It's like, I could do life without you, but I don't want to. And celebrating connection.
That's so important. Everything you just mentioned, and finding yourself and feeling comfortable with yourself and now with someone else. So, well, congratulations.
Oh, well,
on
thank
that.
you, thank you, thank you.
So that's a meaningful song coming out here, Twin
yeah.
Flames, and I think anybody could relate to what you just mentioned.
Aw,
and
thanks.
more fun stuff here. You're releasing 2 EPs this year?
Yes.
That's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. Yeah. I have been literally I've been writing music constantly and recording it since honestly 2018, 2019. And it's finally come to a head where I'm like, I should put this out. And
of course.
all of these songs, they go together. They were written honestly as I was experiencing all these different phases of this, awakening and then falling in love and getting heartbroken and then falling in love again, all of these different phases. And so it's a really interesting, I feel EP to listen to, or sorry, 2 EPs to listen to.
Yeah, your fans will love that, but you're finally letting out all these emotions into a body of work.
It's
but what's better than that as an artist,
right?
to let your emotions out through your work?
It is. It's
pretty cool.
It is really cool. It's the best.
Not bad, not bad. So even more fun, if you could tour with any artist, and would it be Stevie Nicks and why? And I'm kidding.
Okay, yes, duh, obviously. Okay, I'll do the past and the present, I guess. Somebody who's from my childhood, obviously Stevie Nicks. Yeah. Stevie, Queen. But I would say right now, Harry Styles.
Nice.
Yeah.
I mean, he's definitely connecting on another level.
How do you, and I just love what he does. I mean, he kind of crosses genres too and time periods, and it's sick.
No, that's a good answer.
Yeah.
I think he's intentionally, trying to channel all sorts of different styles of music.
Yeah, he doesn't fit in a box, so.
That's what we're about.
Yes, me too.
Is music that doesn't fit in the box. So I'm glad you said that.
Yes. Oh, perfect.
So you fit just right on We Found Your Music.
Thank you.
Chloé, Caroline, thank you so much for stopping through.
Thank you for having me.
Again, we have you playing January 17th.
Yes.
I imagine there'll be more live shows this year as you're
100%.
releasing more music throughout the world. Hopefully we have you back even after this.
Yes,
Chloé, thank you so much for taking a little time to catch up with us.
Thank you.
And we'll catch up with you next time. So thank you
Sounds
guys.
good.
Chloé, Caroline on We Found New Music.
Yes.